that make sense?
Yep, it's a part of faith.
Yeah, so, yeah. That was the main thing.
Alright, okay, cool. What you've experienced is typical amongst Sunnis, unfortunately, and one of my pet passions in life is to create love for the al-Bayt amongst the Ummah also. Unfortunately, because of the scale of this particular course we're doing, I'm unable to make any parallel courses, but once this course finishes or it becomes lighter, the load becomes lighter on me, I will make a secondary course on the love of the Ahlul Bayt and even the history of what happened to them. Most people, they just know superficially something about Karbala and the martyrdom of Imam Ḥusayn. They don't know the 500 or 600, 700 year history of the persecution of the Ahlul Bayt. They don't know it. So I'm going to give you one example now. The Umayyads, everybody knows that they made war with the Ahlul Bayt. What people don't know is the Abbasids also did the same thing. So just as the Abbasids when they first came to power, the first the caliph, I can't remember his name, I don't think it was Al-Mansur, or was it Al-Mansur? He took his son into the dungeons. Underneath the palace was like a cave or dungeons, and there were dead bodies lying there with air tags on, just like you tag a cow or a goat so you recognize it amongst other cows and goats in the marketplace or in the fields. They had these people tagged, and the son said, "What's this?" He said, "These are the members of the prophetic household." Right? Wholesale slaughter. So you're probably asking, how could people slaughter the family of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him? That's a very interesting question, and this is the reason why I want to devise a longer session or a course on this, because it takes a lot of study, and sadly Muslims are unaware of this history, and we have a knee-jerk reaction where the minute anybody mentions the Ahlul Bayt, we automatically think, oh, are you Shi'i? Right? And this is nonsense. If we claim to be on the haqq and we claim the Shia to be misguided, then we have a greater right over the Ahlul Bayt than they do. Right? So when people ask me that question, I would always get angry with them. And the hatred is or the problems are more with the Arabs I've seen than with the people from the subcontinent. And we have this knee-jerk reaction where, oh, don't say this, don't say that, because if you say this means that you're aligned with the Shia. So we have this fear in us that's stopped us from really progressing in our religion. You will not really get anywhere in your religion if you leave the Ahlul Bayt on the wayside. And what I mean by this is, if you don't carry their love in your heart. How can you carry their love in your heart? By studying them. If I say to you, do you love Imam Ḥasan? You will say, oh yes I do. So I will say, prove your love. What is love based on? Love is based on knowledge. And if you don't have knowledge, then what kind of a love do you have? A superficial love in name only? Right? I'm going to show you some things today just to get the ball rolling, and then you can do your own research. And at a later date, inshallah, once we finish this course, I've got other shorter courses lined up. Everything else is going to be short. This is a massive project, as you lot know. After the Seerah, there'll be other courses, short courses, no 5-hour classes in anything, inshallah. Everything will be much, much shorter and cleaner. And then you'll benefit immensely on these controversial topics. I don't shy away from controversial topics. Right? What needs to be taught needs to be taught, whether it comes to history or whether it comes to Islam. I don't shy away. So I will teach it, and people think me controversial, and I want them to think me controversial, because this will spark your own interest and your own study. We need, especially when it comes to history, we need to get out of our comfort zone. I've made comments on the war, just like every YouTuber is doing. I haven't started to capitalize on making videos on the war with the Hamas and Israel and Iran at the moment, regarding Iran's role. People are doing all sorts at the moment, but it's all superficial knowledge. But I have on forums discussed Iran and what our stance should be regarding Iran and everything. And privately, like a student asked me a question and everything, and all this. And people could see me controversial, right? But the facts are facts. people see me as controversial because they're not used to getting uncomfortable. They're not used to being forced to think outside of the box. Right? We leave our thinking in the hands of ulama. We leave our thinking in the hands of a narrative put forward by a historian 1,000 years ago. Right? And we don't think for ourselves. You have to challenge things. You have to ask why. It's not disrespectful to ask why, and you have to get answers. So I'm going to give you some stuff today, inshallah, that you can carry forward. First of all, we need to understand is that for the average lay person who doesn't like to study fiqh, who doesn't like, listening to me? The average lay person who doesn't like to study fiqh, who doesn't like to study aqeedah, who doesn't like to study anything, how do you fill up their life with worship? A person who knows what he's doing, who's serious about his religion, he will look at the calendar year. So you bring yourself to task, just like you bring yourself to task once a year. So you have a New Year's resolution. This is the 2nd of Muharram or the 1st of Muharram today, and people are in the Middle East. People will send you Happy New Year cards or online cards. This is the time to take yourself to task. What did I achieve in the last year? Where did I fail, and what can I do to change that? That's a yearly taking yourself to task. Then there is a three monthly taking yourself to task. Then there is a 1 month. Then there is a 1 week, and then there is a 3 day, and then there is a 24 hour. Then there is a between prayer time to prayer time. We didn't study the book, the beginning of guidance, right? But I hope to complete that with you, inshallah, in the future, and you will see how you're supposed to fill your time between your prayer times. You take yourself to task. So as Muslims, an educated Muslim, a spiritual Muslim will do that. But he knows we have 4 Islamic months. So those 4 Islamic months are Muharram. This is why Muharram is called Muharram, right? It's the first holy month. We have 4 holy months in Islam. Those months are filled with virtue, which means that your worship is amplified and your sins are also amplified, and the rahmah of Allah penetrates deeper. Allah is looking at his creation with special concern in the holy months. 3 holy months are together, and then the 1st holy month is on its own, right? So as Muslims, we should know. The enlightened Muslim, the illuminated Muslim will know, and he will do what he needs to do. But the average Joe doesn't know. So what we do is we peg events around the Islamic calendar. So for example, my mosque, we know the death dates or the birth dates of many of the major companions, of the wives of Rasulullah, of the daughters of Rasulullah. So we will make an excuse. For example, this is the death date of Fāṭimah Zahra Salamullah alayha, the beloved daughter of Rasulullah. So on this day, we will hold a function in the mosque, and it's an excuse for people to gather and learn about one of the best of creation, right? The daughter of Rasulullah. And it's worship. It brings you in the mosque. You pray in the mosque. You are remembering the companions. You are remembering Rasulullah. You are learning a hadith. You are learning ayat of Quran. This is worship. Then we'll have Abu Bakr as-Siddiq's day. We'll have Sayyidina Ali, karamallahu wajh. We'll have Mawlid. And all of these is pegging various characters into your Islamic calendar. This is for the average layman that doesn't want to spend 10 days of Muharram in the mosque, or the whole month of Muharram trying to avoid sin. You try to make ibadah simple for him. You get him into the mosque once he's in the mosque, and then you can broach those deeper subjects to him. But first you need to think, how will you get him into the mosque? So Muharram, we are not concerned with what the Shia do. If my worship ends up looking like the Shia, that's not my problem. If you've got a problem with that, you deal with it. If my worship ends up looking like Christian worship, what would that be? I'll give you an example. You have a Muslim girl, she wears a hijab. You have a Christian nun, she wears a hijab. Wearing a hijab is an act of ibadah for a Christian and for a Muslim. Just because your hijab ends up looking like a Christian nun's hijab, so what? I'm not concerned about that, right? As long as I'm not going out of my way to follow a Christian, oh, they wear hijab, so we should wear hijab. No, we're wearing hijab because it's commanded in the Quran. They're wearing hijab because it's commanded in the Bible, right? So I couldn't care less if my worship ends up looking like Shia worship. Number one, are the Shia not Muslims? Yes, they are. Number two, I am concerned about my own akhirah. I want to populate my life. You know, I want to make my spiritual life as flowery. The meadow of my spirituality that I'm sowing, that I'm planting in, I want it to give forth fruit of many kinds and many radiant flowers, inviting many types of birds inside and insects inside. They come, they feed, they take away, and they go and pollinate other gardens. Sound familiar? This is the Islamic garden text that I wrote. But if you're like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go to the mosque, I'm going to pray 5 times a day, I'm not sure about this is bid'ah, I'm not sure about that, you know, halaqah of Quran, even that is problematic. Oh, athkar, that's a bit problematic as well. You know, what are you doing? Planting weeds in your garden? Right? And he who plants weeds in his garden has no room for the best stuff, has no room for fruit-bearing trees anymore, because you're smothering your garden in weeds, right? So de-weed your garden, declutter your mind, declutter your heart, and really think about your religion. How many of us know anything about the fada'il of Fāṭimah to Zaḥra salamullah alayha? Most of us don't. So isn't it good that once a year we're having a day dedicated to her? Now, you want to call it a celebration? If that floats your boat, call it a celebration. If you want to call it a day of worship, if that floats your boat, call it a day of worship. But what's the essence of that day? Habibi, you are ignorant. Please come to the mosque. You want food? Habibi, it's there. You want biryani? It's there also. You want halwa? It's there also. What else can we get you? Drinks? They're all there. Oh, you're partial to qasa'id. Oh, is that what floats your boat? We've got that as well. Nasheeds, naats, qasa'id. We just want you coming to the mosque so we can teach you some religion. And that's what we plan to do with all of the companions, the major ones. And that's what Mawlid is. That's the essence of Mawlid. These 10 days, number one, it's a religious month. People who know and value these months take time off work. You will find them only in the mosque. Because by being outside the mosque, your chances of the chances of you sinning increase, and the result of the sinning is more severe in this month. So where's the best place to be? In the mosque or in your house? When you're in your house, what will you do? Watch TV? Or will you worship? Okay, what kind of worship will you do? You've got 10 days. Well, Imam Ghazali, had we read that book, teaches us the best way to break your worship down. Some of that worship is remembering the lives of the companions. After a rigorous 8-hour hifz session or dhikr session or 2 hours of reading nawafil, what are you going to do? Oh, okay, I'm just going to do nothing now. No, you're in the mosque. You know, what are you going to do? Oh, let's give you light relief. We'll teach you stories of the companions that will refresh you, that will give you more himmah, that will increase you in love. It's all ibadah, Habibi. It's all ibadah. This is the essence of these 10 days. We go to the mosque. Nobody can say, we know the story of Imam Ḥusayn. No, you're not Shia. The Shia know the story much better than you. And how shameful is it that we claim love for Rasulullah, we claim love for his family, and yet most Sunnis cannot tell you the story of what happened to the beloved of Rasulullah. You know, he cried for his grandsons in the presence of the companions, saying, some of you in the crowd here will kill my progeny. Imagine a prophet having to tell his own Sahaba this. But how can we imagine when we don't even know this story? Right? So this is the reason why we go to the mosques. I don't need to go to a Shia mosque. I don't want to hear, my religion isn't about crying. When we have a shaheed in our community, we celebrate that shaheed. Mark the word, we celebrate that shaheed. When somebody dies in our community, we go to the mosque, we have a janazah for 3 days, we are crying, and then we get on with our lives, and it takes months to get over. When we have a shaheed in the community, we boast. A father says to everybody, look, this is my son. He died in the path of Allah. You are not supposed to cry. You are supposed to celebrate. You are supposed to let everybody know he died a shaheed, he died a shaheed. The father has fakhr. Yes? Right? The friends will think, this is our friend, he's a shaheed. So when Imam Ḥusayn, when we study the story of Imam Ḥusayn, our religion isn't a religion of crying and grief, forever crying and forever beating yourselves. No, our religion is a religion on remembering the virtue and celebrating this momentous event. Was there a braver man? Was there a more moral man? There are lessons on morality, lessons on bravery, and there are lessons of even early theology, i.e. to go against the ruler or not. All of these lessons are learnt in these 10 days in the mosque. Right? So you can call it a celebration, you can call it what you want. It doesn't matter to me. All I know is I'm doing something that nobody else is doing. So who comes away worse off? The one who does 10 days of worship in the mosque with the excuse that it's Muharram and it just coincides with the martyrdom, the 10-day journey, the 10 days prior to the martyrdom, and then you end on the 10th, and then you fast on the 9th and the 10th, or the 10th or the 11th. That's the crescendo, that's the zenith. And then after that, the ones who cannot do any more, okay, go about your lives. You learnt the most important lessons in the 10 days. The ones who have bigger himmah, come to the mosque and spend the rest of the month. You still have another 2 weeks, 3 weeks to go. Right? So this is our understanding. And I'll give you an example now. You, example, are a student of knowledge. I'm a student of knowledge. You're a fresh graduate. I'm a fresh graduate. Now you end up in a mosque, and you're like, okay, I'm in a mosque. Now what do? I know I'm going to start a class of Nazara. I know I'm going to start a Hifz class. Oh, I know I'm going to start a class on fiqh. Okay, start it. I go to a madrasa. What am I going to do? I'm going to start a Nazara class. I'm going to start a Quran class. I'm going to start a fiqh class. And I'm also going to start a class on the lives of the companions. But I'm going to be clever in my strategic thinking. I know the average Joe's not going to come. My fiqh class is failing. I only have 2 students, man. After 3 weeks, nobody turned up. Your fiqh class is failing. Your Nazara class, only the little kids are coming because their dads pull their ears and say, go to the mosque. Your Hifz class is probably failing, or you've only got 1 or 2 students and they mess around. Your theology class is a disaster. After 3 weeks, nobody understood the difference between the teleological and the ontological argument, right? And they couldn't understand what free will is. Okay, your class is failed. And what about your class? You also started a class on the companions. Well, you know what? Week in, week out, nobody can come. Nobody wants to come. They're not interested. Okay, yes, you this week is Abu Bakr. Next week is Sayyidina Ali. Next week is Uthman, right? After the 4th week, people they start to sleep in class. After the 5th week, they'll come for the halwa. After the 6th week, nobody wants to come. But if you have a class of a specific companion every few months, i.e., this is the day Usman passed away, make a beautiful poster. Those same people that were sleeping now think, you know what? We're bored. This looks like a nice event. They're going to have halwa there as well. They're going to have biryani there as well. Let's go. If not for anything else, let's go for the food. When they're in the mosque, they're forced to pray. When they're in the mosque, they're forced to listen to a bit. And they listen to what they never heard on the streets outside. And then after another 3 weeks, there's another day of Abu Bakr. And then a repeat. And then after another 5 weeks, there's another day of Imam Abu Hanifa. And it's a repeat. You're going to get more success than if you host regular classes that nobody wants to attend. So this is, who's benefited more? You, a fresh graduate, and me, a fresh graduate, your classes are utterly failing, but I've strategically planned my classes knowing the masses don't really want to study Islam, but I can get them in for a biryani every once in a while and give them some light lessons on Abu Bakr Siddiq 1 week, and then after 3 weeks on Sayyidina Ali, and then after another 5 weeks on Imam al-Azam. I'll have more success. You know, my mosques are going to be more populated in a year, and those who want to deeply study, okay, I've got my elite students who now you say, okay, book your holidays, you're in the mosque for 1 week now. This is Muharram. Okay, the next holy month comes, the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. Book your holidays, you're in the mosque for 10 days. So I've got my elite students that are doing the maximum. Then I've got my everyday guys who pop in and out of the mosque, but they're coming in every few months. But you've got a rigid pattern, and you don't do anything for Muharram. You don't do anything special for Dhul Hijjah. You don't do anything special for any of the days of the companions. Your mosque is empty. Do you see what I'm trying to get at here? So whether you want to call it a celebration, whether you want to call it ibadah, whether you want to call it bid'ah, whatever you want to call it. But I'm doing it, inshallah. And it's not bid'ah. So let me just highlight a few of the virtues of the Ahlul Bayt, just to get us thinking, and then we will move on, inshallah. But this is not comprehensive by any stretch, but this will make you all think, and at the end of this you will know something about the injustice as Sunnis more than the Shia, what us Sunnis are doing regarding the Ahlul Bayt. Right, this hadith in Tirmidhi is authentic. O people, verily I have left with you that will never lead you astray, as long as you hold on to them. The book of Allah, my family, and the people of my household. The book of Allah is the Quran. We know that if we hold on to the Quran, we shall never go astray. But why did he say my family? And what does he mean? Hold on to my family. Please, O Sunnis, which family of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam have you held on to? Do you even know the biographies of them? Whose teachings of the Ahlul Bayt are you following? Nobody. The honest answer is nobody. So this hadith you've totally disregarded. Well done, O Sunnis. Let's go to the next hadith. Verily I have left behind that will never lead you astray. If you hold fast to them, one of them is greater than the other. The book of Allah is a rope extended from the heavens to the earth, and my family, the people of my household, they will not descend until they return to me at the fountain. So look at how you treat them after me. Subhanallah. So we can have dissent amongst our own imams. We can have our own internal politics and wars. But if you hold on to the Ahlul Bayt, Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has promised you there is no dissent, there is no fitna, there is no dissent. Please, again, O Sunnis, tell me, which one of the Ahlul Bayt are you holding on to? He says, they will return to me at the fountain, so look at how you treat them after me. Is this generic to the companions, or is this specific? Is this khas or am? This falls under the category of am. The very wording. So if this is am, who is this referring to? This is referring to me in the 21st century. He says, so look at how you treat them. Who is Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam talking about? Imam Ḥasan, Ḥusayn? No. He's talking about the ones that are alive today. How do we treat the Ahlul Bayt? We look down upon them. When we find out somebody is from the household of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we look at them with suspicion. We even look at them with disgust. I don't care. This person is telling me he's a member of the household of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. What difference does it make to me if I show him extra respect? I'm supposed to respect Muslims anyway. I haven't lost anything. If I show him extra respect and he turns out to be a member of the household in the hereafter, what have I lost? Nothing. And what have I gained? Oh my God, what have I gained? But if I looked at him with suspicion, what have I lost? This is the second problem we have as Sunnis. Next hadith. In Tirmidhi, Ibn ʿAbbās reported the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, love Allah for the blessings by which He nourishes you, love me for the love of Allah, and love the people of my house for the love of me. Please, O Sunnis, tell me, who are the members of Rasul's house, and what do we know about them, and how can we love them if we don't know anything about them? And again, is this talking to the house members in the beginning of time, or is he talking about the members that come today? The members that come today, we tend to look down upon them. We tend to call them liars. When somebody kisses their hand, we have a problem. Why are you kissing their hand? Habibi, I could kiss any Muslim's hand because I've been ordered to respect every Muslim. So what am I losing if I kiss his hand? But on the day of judgment, if I find out that Rasulullah is looking at me thinking, you could have showed him a bit more love for my sake, and I would have loved you more today. Next hadith. I remind you of Allah about my family. This is in Sahih Muslim. This hadith is in Sahih Muslim. I remind you of Allah about my family. So I remind you of Allah to fear Him about my family. I.e., before you decide to say anything to my family, before you open your mouth, before your actions in the way you treat my family, I remind you to fear Allah in how you deal with them. Again, so now if somebody comes to me and says to me he's from the family of Rasulullah, I'm putting this Sahih hadith in front of my eyes and saying, you know what, I better be careful. I better be careful. Another hadith, hatred for the Bani Hashim and Ansar is kufr, whilst hatred for the Arabs is hypocrisy. We all know this one about hatred for the Arabs is hypocrisy. We all know this. And we all seem to have an inferiority complex when it comes to Arabs, because we generally kind of hold them in high esteem because they're Arabs, even if they're less educated than us Islamically, but we tend to hold them in high regard. So, O Muslims, do you not look at the first part of the hadith? Hatred for the Bani Hashim and Ansar is kufr, whilst hatred for the Arabs is hypocrisy. Another hadith, verily I am leaving in you that to which if you firmly hold on to, you will not go astray after me. The book of Allah and my family, these two will not be separated until they meet me at the fountain of Kawthar. So look, take care at how you deal with them after me. This is Imam Tirmidhi, this is another hadith. We've dealt with this one before. He is a hypocrite who has malice for our Ahlul Bayt. That's another hadith. Now another one in Bukhari from Abu Hurairah. Rasulullah said, he said to Ḥasan ibn Ali, O Allah, I love him, so love him and whoever loves him. Right. So the Prophet ﷺ is joining Allah's name and your name in this dua. He's joining your name and Allah's name in this dua. He's saying, oh Allah, love him. Is Allah not going to listen to the dua of the Prophet? Oh Allah, love him and love the one who loves him. And now this is your name attached to the name of Allah. Are you telling me this is not going to come into effect from Allah Azza wa Jal? But yet, then again, I ask you again, what are the conditions of love? How can you love someone? How can you truly love someone if you don't know someone? I can ask you about the story of Abu Bakr, you'll tell me more than Imam Ḥasan, Ḥusayn, Zaynul Abidin, Imam Jaʿfar as-Sadiq, Imam Baqir, Imam Naqi. If I ask you the names of the 4 caliphs, you'll give me the names, but you'll miss the name of the 5th caliph. How many of you knew that the 5th caliph was Ḥasan? How many of you know the names of the 12 imams? The 12 imams of the Shia are also the Sunni imams. How many of you know their names in chronology? Then how can this hadith be for you? Oh Allah, love him and love those who love him. Are you in this category now? Why have you cut yourself off for free? Only because your teachers didn't teach you about the Ahlul Bayt, but you never had enough sense in your own head to think, let me study about the family of Rasulullah, even if I have to go to a Shia, for example. I'm not telling you to go to a Shia, but I'm just giving you the example, right? As we became Muslims from other religions, we went around the circuit. We sat with Hindus, we sat with Christians, we sat with Jews, maybe even. We sat with various Jedi warrior religions, right? People claiming all sorts of stuff. And then we finally chose Islam. So when it comes to learning about the Ahlul Bayt, if you can't find anything in the Sunni tradition, you didn't go and even pick up a book on what the Shia tradition says and then compare it with take that same book to one of your teachers and say, well, this is what it's saying. Either they're saying something correct or something wrong, please verify. And your teacher, if he has any worth, will be able to then guide you and say, yeah, well, this is correct or this is incorrect. Right? You have an onus upon yourself. This is why I tell you, this is why I always tell you, think critically. Don't put your religion in the hands of your ulama and be satisfied with that. Don't put your Islamic history into the hands of historians and be satisfied with that without thinking for yourself. Right, let's wrap this up now. This so far I gave you hadith, and this is a fraction of the hadith that are out there. Now let me give you an ayah in the Quran. This is the cherry on the cake now. قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا مُوَدَّةً فِي الْقُرْبَى. Yes? So say, O Prophet, I do not ask of you any fee for this except the love between my close ones. Who are the close ones? They are fil qurba. They are first and foremost his own family. Who is going to stand here and say to me, no, he's referring to Abu Bakr and Umar first and then his family. When you say close ones, your close ones are always your family. Then it's your inner cousins. Then it's your inner circle of friends. Then it's your outer circle of friends. Then it's your colleagues. And then it's anybody you've said salam to in your life. Now Allah has ordered you. The Prophet taught you Islam. He pointed you to the way to salvation. And you are supposed to pay your teachers. You are supposed to respect your teachers. You are supposed to follow your teachers. Allah said to the Prophet, tell them, O Prophet, I don't want anything from you. Allah could have said to the Rasul, tell them, I don't want anything, just go and pray 5 times a day in the mosque. I don't want anything, go and do Hajj. I don't want anything, pray zakat. I don't want anything, just worship Allah. That sounds like common sense. I don't want anything from you, I'm just a messenger for you. My teaching to you is worship Allah, worship Allah. That's all I want from you. But what did Allah say? Allah said in Surah Ash-Shura, you can check it, verse 23. He says, I do not ask of you any fee for this except the love between close ones. So Allah has ordered that love. O Sunnis, you spent your whole life studying the religion of Islam, but you denied the Ahlul Bayt. You denied the love due to them. You denied the rights that they have over you. Do you even know the rights the Ahlul Bayt have over you? You didn't love them as you were supposed to love them. This verse didn't even pass your Quran reading. You've been reading Quran your whole life. But many a Sunni will say, oh my God, this is the first time I'm seeing this verse. Of course, Habibi, because when it came to the love of the Ahlul Bayt, you had blinkers on your eyes. Why did you have blinkers on your eyes? For 2 reasons. Either you're super conscious of being called Shia, you have a knee-jerk reaction, or you're jealous. You're jealous. You wanted Islam to be egalitarian. You wanted everybody to be equal. But now all of a sudden you realize that Islam is not as equal as you thought it was, but Islam has singled out the Ahlul Bayt as royalty. It has given them rights over you. And all of a sudden you're uncomfortable with that. These are the reasons. So dear brothers and sisters, we need to get over this. And I hope I've given you a bit of ammo for you to go and find the target and hit the target yourself, i.e. find what you seek and study, inshallah. There are books written in classical Arabic and in every language. You probably won't find many in the English language on who are the Ahlul Bayt and what rights they have over you. Okay, so I think that's enough for today. Any questions, anybody? Any questions? Are you even in my group? Aisha, you started this conversation, so you should have a question. You should have a remark.
I have a question.
Yeah, so I hope this has put everything into perspective for you, right? So, you know, don't worry about what people say, right? To distance yourself from the Ahlul Bayt is distancing yourself from mercy, right? Imam Abu Hanifa, what did he say when he studied 2 years with Imam Jaʿfar as-Sadiq? He said if it wasn't for those 2 years, he goes, I would have been lost. I would have been lost, right? So our madhab, the madhab of the Hanafis, is the madhab of the Ahlul Bayt, Imam Jaʿfar as-Sadiq, right? And this can go on and on, but I think we'll cap it here, inshallah, for today. And I hope that it's given you something to ponder and think about. And let's just carry on with our lesson today. Oh Allah, make us of the servants, the real servants of the Ahlul Bayt. Make us of the lovers of the Ahlul Bayt. Make us live and die for them. And raise us, O Allah, with the family of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.